What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I've got the honor and pleasure of welcoming Miss Claude Racine-Walensky.
Hello.
Claude, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this. So for those of you who don't know, Claude and I are both in the same coaching program. And she actually was one of the first, because we connected, man, what was it like? It was like late last year, like October last year, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
It was like October last year. We connected to try to record, and we had scheduled something, but our calendars had a confliction. Started clashing. And she was in a coaching program. And then I started finding out more and more about different people in this coaching program. And I was like, man, the universe is aligning. I need to go do this. Right. And so I jumped in and I saw her. I was like, Claude, what's up?
He's like, oh man, we got to do it.
So I knew you had mentioned you were doing it, but I didn't click with me.
Got it.
Because you had just started, and your success in it, by the way, has been phenomenal because when we first started talking, you've 10x'd just about.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Yes.
You've just about 10x'd because you start off because I remember when we talked the first time, you were at about you started your coaching and you were making about $20K a month.
Yeah, somewhere around there, 20, 25.
And so in the very short time, you have 10x that. Now you're sitting at like 200K a month now, right?
Not quite 200, but I was like at 110 last month.
Oh, okay. So you 5x'd.
I 5x'd.
Which is still phenomenal.
Which is still pretty cool.
That's still really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know Claude, let me go ahead and introduce her. In a patriarchal society that suggests that women can't have it all, Claude is living proof that they can. An outspoken advocate for women's empowerment and wellness, Claude is leveraging her platform as an accomplished dancer, sought-after social media influencer, and transformational personal coach to help women around the world harness the power of their own agency and accept responsibility for creating a life they love. For more than 2 decades, Claude has made a name for herself as a professional dancer, sharing the stage with some of the biggest talents of our day, including J-Lo, Chris Brown, Avril Lavigne, Erika Jane, and the Pussycat Dolls, and Carmen Electra. She has also choreographed for popular television shows such as Will and Grace and Fuller House. A performer since childhood, dancing was a natural segue into the fitness industry. For Claude in 2014, she made her debut as a cast member of Beachbody's popular 21-day fixed real-time workout program. But in 2020, at the height of a wildly successful career, Claude found herself suddenly unemployed and at the mercy of a global pandemic that crippled the entertainment industry. Simultaneously, she privately battled postpartum depression following the birth of her first son, as well as a crushing Hashimoto's disease diagnosis and an unprecedented 30-pound weight gain. Forced to pivot both personally and professionally, Claude committed to showing up for herself each and every day. That journey included joining direct sales and becoming a partner with luxury brands Bellamy and Modere, marketing the very same health and beauty supplements that helped to heal her body from the inside out. One habit at a time, Claude diligently architected a system that completely reversed her diagnosis and helped her reclaim control over her mind, body, and soul. Today, Claude is teaching women to embrace the very same tools that changed her life through Glow Up with Claude, her signature lifestyle and wellness mindset coaching program. Claude's approach is characterized by non-negotiable discipline, unwavering grit, and overall mental toughness, areas which are often neglected by the fitness industry in lieu of trendy diet fads and unsustainable workout routines. More than merely achieving physical results, however, Claude helps her diverse clientele develop the mental willpower to succeed in every arena of life. Claude currently resides in Las Vegas with her husband, Noah, and her son, Nova. Claude,
yeah, but yes.
I love it. So
you had a cool life.
You have. And what I like about it is you had a lot of success, right? You were accomplished in the entertainment industry, and you felt you actually you had the fall, right? You experienced failure. You experienced some um would you categorize it? Just the
Adversity.
adversity. Yeah, there we go. That's the word I'm
Well,
looking for. Some adversity. And instead of letting that cripple you, instead of being a victim, you found a way through it. And
yeah,
through that journey, now you coach people to get through their adversity in the same way.
yeah, exactly. Perfectly said. And
So,
like I think in the dance industry, like yes, I was successful, but it felt like walking through mud all the time, like just constantly hustling, constantly like, okay, when is my next gig going to be? I never really got to that point where I was kind of just called on to like work, like they
mhm,
call it direct book.
mhm,
So it was just a constant hustle. Like even as I moved into choreography with my husband, we would get like one or two jobs and then like 3 months without any work. So we were never like really coasting and like we never hit financial freedom. Like we were just always hustling. Like when's that next gig? When's that next job?
yeah.
So we always worked and we always paid the bills, but that's the success like capped at that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. It's I mean, that's kind of like the first couple of years as an entrepreneur. You're making like just enough to be like, this can work and like I can make money, but you're not making enough for financial freedom.
No. And the
So,
thing with dance is like that was my passion. Like
yeah.
there's nothing that replaces like being on stage in front of like 30,000 people and like dancing. Like
Yeah.
I always was so happy doing that even if I wasn't making a lot of money, you know? And I was okay with that. For 18 years I was like I don't need a lot of money, like I'm okay with the hustle. This is what I love and it's my passion. And then I got a son and then your priorities shift
Yeah, they do.
big time. And it was almost like COVID was such a blessing because it expedited me to just leave the industry and be like, bye. I was literally just looking for something to do at first, but I became so obsessed with it that I was like, I'm never going back to the dance industry. I don't ever need to.
Mm.
So I said bye forever.
Which is, like you said, it's a blessing in disguise. For me,
Yep.
I had a very similar experience. I've been in sales since I've been an entrepreneur since 2017, and I was always going in the home. I was going in the home, driving around, selling insurance, and COVID happened, and I was one of the very, very, very few people that was like, I'm not going in the home. And everyone else is like, no, 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 we're essential services, go in the home, because it's very difficult to do remote sales. And remote sales was not big in insurance because the life insurance industry is still stuck in the dinosaur ages. Everything's still like
Got it.
paper forms and shit like that. So I was like, no, I'm figuring this shit out. And I did it all I forced myself to, and I didn't have much help. I taught myself. I failed a lot. I iterated my processes, and I mean, I was literally like after each appointment writing down notes, like recording myself, watching it, being like, I said this, they reacted this way, and literally kind of revamping my entire sales process,
Wow.
which forced me to get really, really good.
That's
A-
amazing.
and
I bet.
so, yeah, I got really good. And so I created my own like proprietary sales process, and I just started crushing it. And people were coming to me like, dude, what the are you doing, man? Like, how are you doing this? And I was like, oh, it's simple. I just do this, that, the other. Like, it's not that hard, right? And that's how I started coaching. Actually, I started coaching insurance agents on how to sell
Cool.
in leadership, and I just started helping. I was just doing it for free and that's where I got my passion. That's where I got my bug for like literally like coaching people, taking them to the next level, helping them to succeed. And I was like, you know what? There's something to this. There's something to coaching, right? Like,
Yeah.
and like helping people. It's very fulfilling, right? It's like my
Yeah.
passion now. And
Yes.
so when I talked to you, the first time I talked to you, I was like, and you were just very much like, oh yeah, I just did this and like that, this, that, the other. And I linked up with this guy, and it was just like, light bulb. And I was like, dude, if she can do that, I can do that. I'm already coaching people right now. Like I can do this. And it let it
100%.
sit. I sat on it for so long until I talked to another person that was with Wes. And then another person was with Wes. And like the third one after you, I was like, all right,
Okay.
I've talked to enough people. Like
Time to
this
pull the
is it.
trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So
Yeah.
and
He
it's
actually Go
miraculous.
ahead.
I was gonna say it's miraculous with how something like COVID that a lot of people hunkered down and they were like, oh well, I'm just gonna watch Netflix and drink my ass off and eat a bunch of food and make memes on toilet paper. And toilet paper shortages, and some of us got to work.
I mean, the whole first year of COVID, I was that person. I had just had my son in January, and then in March is when COVID hit. So I was like in the thick of postpartum depression and anxiety and literally wanted to kill myself every single day. If not the whole day, like at one point during the day, it was like, I just need to take myself out and end this. Like this is I can't live like that. And for a year, I just found comfort in food and like we would have wine every night at dinner, and I gained actually 35 pounds. And then one day at the end of 2020, I was like so over myself. I was like, this is not me. I've always been in shape. I've always felt healthy. I've always had control over my life. And here I was just letting it all go mentally, physically, emotionally. I was a fucking wreck. And I was like, I need something to do. I just please send me something to do. And on Facebook, this like my friend's story flashes by and it's like, did you know you can do what I do for 28 bucks this month or 21 bucks? And I was like, I can fucking do makeup online every day. Let me start there. Cause I hadn't washed my face or put makeup on in a year.
Mhm.
So I joined. Next day, I like made an announcement on my Instagram live about what I'm doing and why. And I got so much support. It was like insane. And then after that, I had a purpose. And then I slowly got out of like depression land because I just was doing shit for other people.
That's the key right there. It's living with a purpose, like having something that you're moving towards that inspires you, that you're passionate about, having that purpose driven
Yeah.
life. Um, and like I would actually just did a post the other day, it was yesterday actually. By the time this airs, it would be months ago, but about how anxiety and depression, 45% of all Americans are treated with anxiety and minor depression. 45%.
I mean, that
Like,
makes sense.
yeah, and that spiked. That spiked went up when in the early 2000s when the smartphones were released. That's when it
Um,
started climbing.
because you have access to too much.
Yeah.
Do you compare yourself to too much?
Yep.
You feel worthless because they're doing this and they're doing like when I started dancing professionally, nobody could see what you were doing. If you were on tour with Britney Spears, like nobody knew that.
Mhm.
The dance world knew or like your friends knew, but now you put that shit on blast and then you're like, oh man, like she works for this person and she's touring with her and like she looks better than me. Like it's just a fuck all. But
It is.
you have to learn to, use it as inspiration and not let it destroy you because it
Uh,
is a great tool to have.
That's the thing is it's a tool. I think it should we've been conditioned um to be accepting of mediocrity and not be like when I see somebody else doing something, I'm like, dude, they did it, I can do it too. Awesome. Like it's been
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
100%.
And it's not a comparison. It's just like something to strive for.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
when you got postpartum,
Yeah.
you started gaining that weight, you got
Yeah.
Hashimoto's disease. For
Yeah.
the audience, there's probably a lot of people that are like, what the fuck is Hashimoto's? Because that's the first thing I said when you told me that. When the first time.
Yeah.
So what is explain a little bit about Hashimoto's and what it does to your body?
Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, meaning it's a disease where, hold on, let me close this door so we don't get this noise. It's a disease where the body attacks itself essentially, right? Think
Mm.
autoimmune disease like think like lupus, Lyme's disease, Hashimoto's is another one. And it attacks the thyroid. So it basically just slows everything down, metabolism, your energy, you just start holding on to fat, you're tired, you're foggy brain. It kind of just screws up your immune system. And I after like trying to get healthy after having my son, probably 6 months after having him, I was like, okay, I'm going to go work out and like get back to eating healthy. And I did that and like my body wouldn't change. And I was like, "Okay, this is weird. I'm not accepting that just because I'm 40, I can't lose weight or whatever. So let me go get it checked out." I got my blood work done and it came back that I had Hashimoto's, which means there's like these antibodies that we all have in our bodies. A normal level is like 30. Mine were at 400. So there's too many antibodies and they start to attack the thyroid, especially when you eat things like gluten, inflammatory foods like that.
Mhm.
But my first doctor was like, "Here's a synthetic thyroid medication. Take that." Took it for 5 days and felt like shit and threw it away. I was like, "That's not the answer." And then for a year and a half, I was searching for an answer. Like, I know anything that my body creates, it can uncreate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if it created a disease, I can heal it. So I was just on a search to healing it, which leads me to what I do now, which is functional nutrition. And I learned that a lot of the foods people eat are inflammatory. And a lot of the ingredients in a lot of the foods we eat are inflammatory and causing all disease people have: diabetes, cancer, autoimmune, all of it.
Mhm.
And I had to wipe all that out of my diet. And as soon as I did, I dropped, 25 pounds, got healthy, reversed my Hashimoto's, and now I when I heard Wes speak, he said, "If you've healed yourself, you've figured out how to like overcome a problem, you need to now help others do the same." And I was like, "Boom, I got to do this. Got to do this." But also those foods, Greg, like they also lead to depression and anxiety because there's a
Yeah.
gut brain barrier. And so like not just the phones, but the food in this country is absolute shit.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like, I ever since I started with Wes, I was the guy that like, dude, you tell me what to do, and I'll run the play, right? So he was like, all
Mhm.
right, here's your diet, here's your macros, boom, 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 and it was like completely different than what I've been doing. And so I was like, all right, whatever. Like I was on a keto, low carb, high fat, but I felt great though, like I was
Yeah,
doing well,
keto is great.
uh,
Ketogenic diet is great.
and I was doing 1 meal a day.
Oh,
I was on a 1 meal, like an extreme intermittent fasting, and I would eat like 3,500 calories in 1 meal in 30 minutes. Boom. But I wouldn't eat for the rest of the day. It was just water. But my body would burn it, and I was like 8% body fat. But it was also very like wholesome foods. Like I was cooking and you know,
yeah.
and the fats I was using were like animal fats. I wasn't using seed oils or anything like that. So there was a lot of limitations there. I drink a lot of heavy whipping cream, stuff like that. So yeah, to get your fats in, man, it's hard. And then I ate a lot of tahini also. Had
Okay.
tahini.
Yeah, see,
Anywho,
I only do clean keto, and you can't have dairy on clean keto.
I love I well I mean I did love dairy. So so he comes in and he's like, hey, this is what you're gonna do, and it's completely opposite. So like, and
Yeah.
I anytime I ate a carb, if I ate carbs, my body would instantly like start blowing up. And so because I was still on such a high fat that even if
Yeah.
I would have to drastically lower my fats to almost nothing when I raised my carbs, but I
Mhm.
was like, it means like I couldn't have any red meat, I couldn't have any bacon, like I couldn't have any regular eggs, like anything like that, I would start blowing up. So he was like, "Hey, here's your friggin' diet, boom, 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 boom." And I was like, "All right." And so I made that transition, and I can tell you that I've since being on it. One, I eat way less in a day.
Yeah.
I eat about 2,000 calories a day. I'm still maintaining my weight, like I'm still able to like burn
Nice.
and build muscle, and I'm getting more vascular. But I had one day where I cheated. It was Easter, I went to my buddy's house, and he had made a bunch of food for dinner, and I was like, you know what? I went to Kevin's house. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have it because he made these like healthy cookies where it was like sugar alcohols in them. So I had a few of them. That fucked my stomach up.
Uh,
It was bad for like 2 days. I felt it. You
yeah.
feel it instantly when you have
Instantly.
shit food.
Yep.
You when you eat healthy and then you put something shitty in your body, you
Yep.
feel it instantly. I was like, that was the worst mistake ever.
Yeah,
Worst.
especially like processed shit, processed sugars, like, woo, you're screwed.
Yeah. It's real bad.
Screwed.
It'll
Yeah,
mess with you bad.
it will. Yeah. So I don't, I mean, every once in a while, I live 90-10, 90% like super on plan and, you know, anti-inflammatory diet. And then 10% I'll allow myself to like have this or that every now and again.
I don't even I don't go out to eat. I just have a mass amount of protein prepared so that I can weigh out like 6 or 8 ounces. I just weigh it out. I heat it up. I have a rice cooker. I eat a shit ton of
Yes.
jasmine rice.
Same.
I eat so much jasmine rice in a day, but I got a Japanese rice cooker so that I can literally keep it on the counter for days because you never have
Days.
to refrigerate it. And it's so
Yeah,
awesome.
that's just so awesome. A
Yeah.
rice maker is like a life changing.
A good one, not a shitty one from Walmart. Go
No,
spend a little bit extra bucks. Get one from like you can get it from like usually Asian markets, or you can get one from Amazon. But it's like $150, 1,000% worth it.
so worth it.
Yes, 1,000%
So
worth it.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, nutrition's so important, especially to your mindset. People don't realize that it does have an effect on your mind,
No,
the
huge.
chemicals within your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, you know, the American diet is full of omega-6s. And that's things that you find in like vegetable oil, canola oil, seed oils, processed foods. And that's going to cause some anxiety and some depression and some bad mental health. Like, and it's weird because now I feel like everybody should know this, but I meet people every day who still don't know.
Yeah, I do too.
So just keep spreading the word. Eliminate those damn seed oil, palm oil. If your almond butter or peanut butter has palm oil in it, throw it in the trash.
Yeah. You shouldn't be eating a lot of peanut butter anyways. It's not
No,
that
that's also inflammatory. Peanut
super
oil.
inflammatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peanut oil is not the best for you. It's really not good at all.
No, it is not.
Yeah. I mean, don't get
Yeah,
me wrong. I love some peanut butter. Like
I know.
peanut butter warms my soul. Like a big
Well,
old heaping scoopful.
listen, I have the ultimate hack. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It is a granola butter called Oat House granola butter.
Uh-huh.
And you have to get this in your hands. I mean, it is so delicious. You'll never think about peanut butter in your life again. And
I'm
it's
writing this
made from all natural shit. Just don't get the red velvet or birthday cake flavor
down. Okay.
because there's some not so good ingredients in those.
I'm looking this up.
Oh, and you can thank me later. Shit is so good.
So that'll be something I can put on my. I eat
Yeah.
rice cakes like they're going out of style.
Oh my God, it's going to be so good on your rice cakes.
Yeah, because just the plain ones, just like the lightly salted ones,
Yeah.
or the ones that are like the apple cinnamon. Because it's like eating air. It's great, but it has a light crisp, and it's almost like it satiates my need for like potato chips, right? Or like that crunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so it kind of like satisfies that for me. But you
Yeah.
can eat them and get some carbs in, especially like before a run. I'll go eat a couple of rice cakes, and it actually makes me feel better on my run. Like I can tell a difference.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
that
just having
carb
both.
energy.
Yeah. Huge difference. So
Nice.
I'm gonna look at this Oat House granola butter.
Please, everybody should look at that.
What are some other hacks? What are some other hacks? People watching that are like, man, Cloud, you were able to heal yourself. Sorry, Claude. I keep doing that. What are some other hacks, Claude? You healed yourself. You've learned all this about diet. You're coaching women. to be the best version of themselves. And I love, by the way, that you talk about the discipline. You talk about, doing the hard things, not this kind of hack like, oh, well, we can get you healthy in 6 weeks. Come on, bro. It's going to take, dude, that's going to be a yo-yo back and forth.
This is a lifestyle change. Like I always tell people, you are changing the woman you were into the woman you want to be.
Yeah.
So it's not temporary. It's not just this like commitment you're going to make for 3 months. I will never be the old Claude who drinks wine at dinner every night, or who has whatever food she wants in whatever amount she wants, who just works out some days and some days not. I will never be her again. Like I've transformed and created a new woman who eats a certain way, goes to the gym every day, who has priorities, who has a morning routine, an evening routine, who takes sleep very seriously. Like people come to Vegas all the time, Greg, and they're like, Claude, we're here. Want to go see a show at 8 o'clock Friday? And I'm like, fuck no, I don't. My bedtime is 9 p.m. Love ya. If you want to do something before that, we can. But these little pieces of taking your sleep seriously and making sure that you get, not you, men, you guys don't need this much sleep, but women need like 7 to 10 hours of sleep a night. You just do if you want to stay healthy and you want your hormones to like do what they do, and your muscles to repair. And I take it too seriously to even deviate from that. And that's discipline.
It's those compromises though. But if you make that compromise, it's a slippery slope. If you're like, you know what, this one time I'll go ahead and stay up. Next thing you know, you're out, and then they're like, 8 o'clock, show ends at 9:30. Hey, you want to go grab a drink? You're like, you know what? I already did this. I might as well have just one drink, and that's the slippery slope that people fall down because of that small compromise. And what they realize is that by getting that L, right, that loss, it makes it okay. It justifies it in their mind that they can just do elves for the rest of the evening, the rest of the day, whatever, and just start back again tomorrow.
And you're never really making the shift into that new person you're creating. Like if you're trying to grow a plant and it needs sun and you keep putting it in the closet, it's never going to grow.
Yeah.
But maybe like, you need to fully turn into this new being that you're creating. And then let's talk that 90-10 life of like, but I won't like not go to bed past like 10 o'clock. I just won't, because it's not just, oh, I might be tired the next day. It's like, you're fucked up for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it does. It messes with your sleep cycle overall.
And it affects the discipline that you have, like how you treat yourself, that is going to leak out into the rest of your life. It's going to leak out into your business, into your relationships. And I'm not willing to compromise that, to compromise the quality of my life, of my business, of my relationships. It all starts to go like this if you go like that. I'm not going down.
Speaking of relationships, I love that your husband does some of your reels with you and he dresses
Oh my
up.
God.
That's the best. If y'all haven't seen any of Claude's Instagram, go check it out. She's got some funny fucking reels.
Oh,
that'll get you chuckling, especially when her husband dresses up. It's the best.
He plays the hormones. He plays the different hormones and things, and it's pretty people love it. I'm just glad he's so game.
Yeah. He loves you. You could tell. It's just like, I'm game.
Oh yeah. Well, he's also like he was in the industry too. Like he's an actor, he's a performer. Like, so any chance he gets to get on the camera, he's taking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was shocked he let me put lashes on him, though, I will say.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That was good. What are some diet hacks I say tips, tricks, strategies that you can share with the listeners, that maybe something they can implement, see a little bit of change enough that they're like, wow, Claude knows what the fuck she's talking about. I need to know more.
Eliminate all dairy, gluten, sugar, soy, alcohol. Eliminate it. Say goodbye. No more. And trust me when I tell you, you will feel better very quickly,
Yeah, especially alcohol.
especially alcohol.
Especially alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
People don't
do it.
realize the effects that the long-lasting effects it has on your ability, your cognitive ability for days after you drink alcohol.
Yeah. It's a toxin. You're
Yeah.
intoxicating your body.
Yeah.
Like, just say goodbye for at least 3 months, like, make a commitment to not even look at it. Don't put it in your body. Just eliminate those foods. People are like, "But I love." It's not about what you love. Do you wanna heal? Do you wanna feel better? Do you wanna live longer? Do you wanna, like, lose weight and feel good about your damn self? Then you can't care about what you love right now. Just say goodbye to it.
Yeah. You'll love new things, I promise you. You'll love feeling confident. You'll love being able to look in the mirror and actually appreciate looking at yourself naked in the mirror and not be ashamed. You'll love the discipline that you feel when you wake up early and you kick ass and you're like, dude, it's only 7 a.m. and I'm kicking ass already.
Yes.
Wow. I feel like a superhuman. You'll love that a lot more, I promise you.
You'll love that way more than the pizza and the pasta. Those things are nice, and it's not like you can never have them again, but just for now, put yourself first. It's like
No, you're
the
absolutely right.
Wes always talks about how, like, he was in jail for 10 years, he didn't have a choice, right? Like, you don't really have a choice, you're in jail, this is what you eat, this is like, out here, people have freedom of choice, and one of the things I realized too was when I was going through postpartum, like, I didn't have a choice. Like, I had to get up and take care of my son. I had to get up and play with him and breastfeed him every 2 hours, even though I would just rather, like, really die at the time. And you build this sort of, like, when I looked back at it in hindsight, I was like, "Oh my god, like, I am a fucking gangster for getting up every day throughout the night and taking care of this little human, even though it was the last fucking thing I wanna do." And that's what builds character, that's what builds the motherfucker in you, is doing all the shit you don't wanna do, and
Yeah.
making that choice when you have both things in front of you of like, "Okay, I can choose cake or I can choose fruit," or not even, like, veggies instead, and you choose the veggies, you do that long enough, for a long period of time, you're gonna feel like a fucking gangster. 'Cause you watch everybody around you not being able to have control over these things. And that's my thing is like, I'll be damned if food has control over me, sleep, like anything has control over me. I'm not gonna hit snooze. I'm not gonna let that have control over me. Fuck that.
For y'all listening, y'all need to take what she's saying to heart. Go back through, rewind it back about 2 minutes and listen to what she says again, because this is absolutely pertinent that you understand that like you have complete control of your life. You have complete control of the greatness that you have within you. And I see I mean, when I say too many, I'm saying like 99% of the people that follow me on Instagram, that make comments on my posts, that like reach out to me and send me messages like, oh man, I want to increase my discipline. I'm like, hey, this is what it takes. You committed? Well, soon, but no, you're not committed. You're not committed. Like but you do have the ability within you. And it takes literally removing certain things. When I first time I did 75 hard, changed my life. And what did I do? I got done with 75 hard and I started dating this girl, right? And she drank all the time. And so, like, literally the night after I got done, her and I drank wine. And then that turned into going out and have another drink and going out and have another drink. And I literally, all the discipline I built over those 75 days, I felt like a fucking superhuman. I felt like a god. No kidding.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And I went back down to a mere fucking peon mortal. And one day I looked at the mirror and I had like stopped working out as much. I started eating whatever the fuck I wanted to. I started drinking all the time because this person that I was with was an influence on me. I allowed her to be an influence. It's on me. It's not on her. It's on me.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
and I looked in the mirror and I was starting to get a gut and I was like disgusted looking at myself in the mirror naked. And I was like, fuck this. I'm getting back on 75 hard. And we had just had a party and we had a bunch of alcohol. We had like bottles and bottles and bottles. We had a whole stocked We had a whole stock thing. I took every single bottle and I poured them in the fucking sink. And I was like, nope, I'm starting 75 hard. And she was like, don't pour it out. I was like, no, I'm getting rid of this shit. It does not need to be in the house.
No.
And I poured out every single beer
Good
we
for
had.
you.
We had like a whole fridge of like, it was probably like 60 beers in a beer fridge. We
Oh
had
my
like
God.
3 bottles of wine, and I had probably 6 different handles of different liquors that were all between like full and like halfway full. That I just opened up and just fucking stuck in the in the sink. I was
Oh
like, I'm
my
getting rid of
God.
this shit.
Good for you.
So, and I was,
And
I'm
you know
fucking
what?
done.
That and I wanted to say something earlier too, like, because I know a lot of people out there, there's so many excuses in their mind for like why they can't do what we've done, like whether it's I'm just so stressed, or I don't have the money, or I'm going through so much, and I lost my mom, and I hear all the things. And I just want you to know that you aren't fucking special. Your pain, your struggle isn't special. And people make it special. Like, well, I'm different than you. You're no fucking different than me.
Yeah.
And if one person can do it despite their circumstances, like despite postpartum, despite being in jail, despite losing your mom to cancer, despite losing a kid. I have clients whose children have died in a car crash because of a fucking drunk driver. Like, there is nothing so bad going on in your life that you can't start and do something towards bettering yourself. And
Absolutely.
and I just wanted to put that out there because so many people are a victim in their mind. Like, well, I'm a single mom with 3 kids, and
Yeah. And
stop feeling
exactly.
sorry for yourself. Stop it. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere. Be the single mom with 3 kids who gets shit done, who doesn't use that as a crutch, but shows her children that like anything is possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. I actually have a story from insurance where someone looked at me and was like, dude, you're not special. Like, I know what your problem is. You think you're special and you're not. And it was a very impactful conversation. It actually turned everything around for me because at one, I had an
Nice.
ego. I was like, this motherfucker thinks I'm not special. But at the same time, I was like, he might be right, you know? And
Yeah.
and I started changing everything. I started doing the fundamentals. I started like doing the things that needed to be done because I was trying to rely on talent and I wasn't talented instead of relying on skill and working and building it up. And so now I tell my agents all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I got this going on, this going on." I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you something." That someone told me like something ago. You think you're special, and you're not. You suck right now because you suck. But the
Right.
good thing about nobody, I'm not special either, but that means that what I can do, you can do.
Yes.
The opportunity is equal between everybody.
Everybody. Every motherfucker, because if you believe it, you can make it happen. I don't care what you look like, what color you are, like, because you made me think like a lot of people when you said your girlfriend that you were dating at the time drank, and I get a lot of women who are like, well, my husband, he eats whatever I don't give a fuck. Does
Yeah,
what he put in his mouth have to go in your mouth?
yeah.
Does his habits have to mean that you follow those habits?
It's
No.
so
Like,
hard.
oh, it's so hard when like my husband's chomping on chips. Wham. You know what else is hard? Being fat and not loving your body and not wanting to like be naked in front of your husband because you're ashamed, or wanting to put a swimsuit on because you're like, I hate my mom gut. But yet it's hard watching your husband eat chips. And I always tell women too, I'm like, you guys, my moms, you carried children in your stomachs for 9 months, and then you either pushed them out of your vagina or had them cut out of your belly, and you can't say no to a fucking chip. It doesn't make sense. Like, we are way more badass than we give ourselves credit for. And you have to be like, that chip has control over me. I think not.
Yeah.
I always remind myself, I pushed a human. I did that with no drugs. I did that. So
Yeah.
like, somebody say something to me. Say something. You know what I mean? Like,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but it's all perspective.
It is. Absolutely is. You're absolutely right. Claude, if anyone's
Yes.
watching this and they're
Yep.
like, Claude's a badass motherfucker. She's a bamf. And I want to learn more about her or follow her page or find out more about her coaching. How can they, what's the best way to connect with you, to see your content, to learn about your program and how you help women glow up and become the best version of themselves?
I would go to my Instagram at Glow Up with Claude, and that's where I dump all of my content, free content, courses that I'm dropping, programs. I give free value every day on nutrition, mindset, some fitness too, like some workout stuff, but mainly nutrition and mindset. And yeah, that's the hub right there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
And then Claude, the last question I ask all my guests, you have the
Yes.
opportunity to sit with, learn from, have a conversation with, break bread with 3 individuals, anyone in history, alive or deceased. Who are they and why?
Oh my gosh. That's a really good question. 3 individuals. Huh. Wow. Okay. One, gosh, Greg, I've never been asked this question before.
It tells me a
And
lot about you. It tells me a lot about you too. I like it.
who you would sit with?
Who'd you sit with? Yeah.
I'm like,
There's no wrong answer. It's just
Okay.
about your preferences.
I think J-Lo would be one of them
Okay. That's a unique one. Never had J-Lo.
because she's smart. She's really smart. Like she's figured out, she started off as a dancer and just created this whole empire. Um, and she's strong as fuck. Like I would just want to sit down with her and be like, how was that journey for you? Like, what did you have to overcome to like get to where you are? Um, 2 more, huh? This is so funny. I can only think of like music artists. I would for sure want to sit and get to know 50 Cent for the same kind of reasons. Like I read his book and I was like, man, this man is smart.
He actually really is smart. And he's been through some shit too.
Yeah. He's been through,
He's been through some trauma.
yeah. And he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'm just going to go forward. I don't care about what's happened to me. What is going to happen to me? That I have control of, I think. Right.
Yeah.
And just as a businessman, like in his book, so good. Oh my gosh. I think like my need to understand evil, I would want to sit with Hitler and just
Yeah, this is the second time I've got that one. That's good.
I would
That's good.
want to know like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I would obviously not say that, but just to get inside that mind
Yeah.
of like how could you do just to understand it.
Here's and don't get me wrong, what he did was terrible, but it was also tremendous. Like he got an entire country of people to do something, and he to commit genocide in his name.
That's what I'm saying. Like what the
And like,
fuck?
how could that takes some leadership skills? That takes some influencing ability.
Yeah,
Like,
and
imagine if
massive
you want to do something for the good of people, right? Like,
right.
so it's like, but the skills were the same, right? To do either, he just chose evil, right?
Right.
But those skills still existed within him.
Right.
And so I would want to understand those skills, like how he was able to influence so many people.
Yeah. Like the massive belief in himself that he had to have, like in what he believed in. Obviously, it was awful.
Yeah.
But that belief that like this is it, this is the answer, and then to convince an entire country to believe it.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Sorry.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
fine.
I it's like, what? Tell me
Yeah.
what's going on in here.
Yeah. No, those are three great ones. Claude, thank you so much for jumping on the Be the Difference podcast. This has been great just connecting with you and getting to know a little bit more about your story and sharing it with the audience. If you're watching this or if you're listening on the podcast, then obviously you got value. Okay. And obviously you're like, man, Claude, she's fucking all right. So do me a favor, a couple things. First off, go follow her page, her Instagram that she gave earlier. Make sure you follow her, show her some love. Secondly, share this content with other people that can also learn, grow, and get value from Claude's story and from the information that she provides, especially to women that are unhappy in their lives and their situations that want to have a change. Because just by you sharing that, you could make all the difference in the world in another person. It takes you 60 seconds to like, review, subscribe, or share this content, but it means the world to both Claude and I. So
Yes.
this has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time,